Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
Well, seems like yesterday. Well, let me take this back real quick. I'm your host, Brett Bowman of Whitetail Advantage Podcast, along with my other host, Dan Asher.
What up?
This is episode 42.
43?
Well, no. So, real quick, because I'm trying to make sure our guest for tonight is getting into this studio. Yesterday, technical difficulties was a bunch of bullshit because apparently, like Jason said, I was talking and it sounded like I was a R2-D2 fucking a 1990s printer.
Oh, that's usually an indicator of internet. Sometimes that might be an internet connection thing.
And it did. Getting kind of confused.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them in the virtual.
Here am I.
Can you override and send a link via email?
Yeah, I want to see if we can do this instead. So sorry about this little pause, listener. We're trying to make sure that we get our guest for tonight's show corrected.
No worries. It's worth the wait because we got us a really good guest tonight.
Yeah, and let's say this: the event that we have, we're never scheduling these type of events again because this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, something about the scheduled. It's way different.
It is, and so I was trying something new, but then again, that's what we're trying to do here.
Trial and error, baby.
Exactly, trial and error. And do I feel bad? Yes, I feel, but you know what? It's gonna come with the terrain, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, as of now, I don't think we're scheduling these type of events again, and we're just gonna be going live. Yeah, so we're just making sure that our guest comes on tonight. Our guest tonight is Backwoods Life, Michael Lee, and one of his camera guys.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
There. You know what? Let's just stop talking and let's just bring them in because.
All right.
Unless you're good with that, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's get them on.
Okay, perfect.
Oh.
Are you bringing them? Oh, yeah, let me get.
There we go. There we go.
Man, technical difficulties, man.
How you guys doing?
What's up, guys? Doing good. How are y'all?
Just enjoying a chilly week in Michigan. We got spoiled last week. It felt like spring was here, and back to the 30s and 40s we go.
We don't have that problem here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, they get the rub in our face of always 70 and warm, and see, we get 70s like once in the wintertime, which was like last week, and then now we're back to 30s and rain and ice, and yeah, you have to love Michigan, man.
I think it was 72 here today, but it was like, 40 this morning?
Yeah, so it's kind of cold today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that must be tough.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Don't worry, it'll be 95 or 100 in hell in here before long. So.
Now, real quick, so my wife, she's from Chattanooga, okay? And she told me, like, her brother still lives down there. She tells me, though, if, like, one snowflake hits the road, everything gets shut down because obviously there's mountains and they have cities basically up there. Is that kind of like the same there in Georgia?
Let's put it this way. In my life, I think I've seen accumulated snow in Georgia maybe 4 times.
Wow.
So, yes, if it snows here, it's apocalyptic. Now,
Yeah.
Jordan, on the other hand, he
Yeah.
sees like 900 feet a year. So
Yeah, I'm from Virginia, so if we get anything in the forecast, schools are closed. I mean, everybody's preparing for World War III. So
I mean, we're used to the snow here. The frustrating thing is just how unpredictable the weather is here in Michigan. It's like all of the meteorologists seem to just not be accurate. They're consistently inconsistent. Can't really put a lot of faith in the local news because the weather is just always changing here, especially this time of year. It could be anything.
yeah, I mean, we're getting consistent down here at least. It's gonna be consistently hot before long, but I mean, we're green, time to mow the grass. I mean, all that's happening right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Not
Well,
really.
yeah, that's another responsibility.
Exactly.
But real quick, for anybody who doesn't know who you guys are, could you give us a quick little intro and tell us about yourself, where you guys are from, and stuff like that?
I'm Michael Lee. I've been doing Backwoods Life for 20 years, actually this year, and yeah, so I've seen it all. Been around a minute to do a bunch of hunting stuff for a long time. Been fortunate to do that, and yeah, glad to be here.
And then, sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
Go ahead. No, I'm Jordan Brake. I'm from Virginia. Me and Michael have been working together. This is our second season.
Yeah.
I work for the Give and Right, and we kind of get paired up together quite often, I guess. He's a good buddy of ours, and I guess technically a client. So I'm a camera guy, and basically everything you see from Backwoods Life is done by the Give and Right, or mostly me at this point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he gets to follow me around and watch stuff die.
Try to make him look pretty, and
he's all right.
Do they ever, tell you to, hey man, go ahead and put the camera down and whack one, or are you strictly business?
It kind of depends. I know if hogs walk out, that's about the only. Hey, everybody's shooting at these things, but other than that, my main job is to be here to film, and I enjoy it, and try to make Backwoods Life look as good as they can.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
What made you want to get into videography and that type of world?
Well, truth be told, I don't know if my baseball coach is watching this, but I was skipping baseball practices in college in the fall to go hunting. And
Jordan,
I know, not the greatest student. And he was like, "Look, dude, if you're gonna want to hunt and skip practice of why you're here, you think about doing it for a living." So I met up with my coworker now, Curtis Blosser. He was a alum there at school, and started doing some freelancing, and worked for a YouTuber for a little while, and then finally got a job at the Give and Right. I've been there for 3 years now. So It's going well.
That sounds like a pretty fun
he's been
job.
able to spend 2/3 of his career basically with me. So yeah.
That's pretty entertaining. And then you guys are hunting all over the place, right?
Yeah. We've been about halfway across the country already in a couple of years.
Okay. Where would you say your favorite state you've hunted in so far?
Texas.
Texas?
No, I will not hesitate to say Texas. Every 365 days of the year, something can die in Texas.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not going to lie, that's a little bit of a shocker to me.
I would say probably I'll do something different. Southern Colorado in September for elk it's insane. There's a river bottom there, and this was for the Give and Right last September. We were calling in like 20 and 30 bulls a day, just anywhere from like 180 size class to 330s, 350s, and it either worked out or it didn't. But it's insane.
And that's all public over the counter tags, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And those are pretty pricey too, right? Over the counter non-resident tag for elk is how much do those go for?
Yeah, those I think the zone we were in, those were anywhere from I think $3,000 or $4,000 Just it's kind of depending on your zone. Which, if you think about it, it's not terrible if you want to do a DIY, but you get an outfitter involved, and that's when you start looking at a bunch of money going towards that. But
yeah, you can't just go buy that tag and go hunting. Like there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
So. Granted, there's part of me that when I was in college wanted to move out to Colorado, but ever since I met my wife, I've wanted to move to Tennessee, and that's been my state. That's kind of where I wanted to mainly go hunting the most is Tennessee. That's just my personal opinion on it. Have you guys hunted Tennessee yet? I don't know.
I've turkey hunted Tennessee. Shot a couple birds up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been over that way. We're right next to Virginia's right next to Tennessee, so played baseball in there, and I've turkey hunted and duck hunted there. So,
man. And then, what part of the state are you guys at in Georgia?
I'm dead south in the middle of the state, about 25 miles from the Florida line.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're in true South Georgia right here.
Okay. Yeah. And the hunting's pretty good down in the southern part of Georgia too.
Yeah, it's good. We got tons of whitetail, tons of turkeys, a lot of wild hogs. Actually, too many wild hogs. That's about it. We got some, quail, doves, stuff like that, but we don't have any.
And that's where you cut your teeth hunting in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, I was born and raised here, about an hour north of where I live now. And,
okay,
that's I grew up. I actually grew up bass fishing more than anything. And then in my college years, I really got into hunting a lot more, and then fell into this crap, and here we are.
Yeah, I was more of a fisherman too. I'm new to hunting. Like I just wrapped up my second hunting season ever.
Gotcha.
So I'm pretty naive to everything. So that's why we hit the lotto having people like you on our show, because I'm trying to just soak up as much knowledge as I can. But yeah, I feel like I've been missing out, man. I didn't really think anything would ever compare to fishing. But then once I got my first bow, man, I love it. I can't stop thinking about deer.
Yeah, I don't know about the learning from me part, but I'll definitely tell you what not to do.
You can still learn. That's still a way of learning for me, man.
That's right.
What was it? Dan spent like $600 on a brand new fishing rod that fell in the water.
Well, it wasn't
it fall in the water.
No, I dropped it.
Yeah.
But it was $600 total. It wasn't a $600 rod.
Yeah.
Mainly the reel was expensive, but my hands were wet, and it was a cold early spring morning, and my fingers were all shriveled up, and I was really trying to send it, and I dropped it, and it sunk. It sunk really quick, and I'm familiar with the depth of the lake. It's a really sudden drop off. It was 50 feet where I was, so it wasn't worth trying to get it. But I kept my composure, and the next cast I pulled a female off of a bed. So I still caught a fish, but yeah, I still have nightmares about that. That was my most expensive setup that I had ever purchased, and I kind of didn't even get to finish with. I didn't even get to use it for a whole season.
No, I kind of laughed at him when he told me that story. I was like, that sucks, dude. But you spent $600, kind of all that. You go in hunting world, that's $600 on just basically one arrow. So
yeah, that's nothing, man. Yeah, you just go ahead and hand that over when you walk in the store. Like, here, just take this from me. I know I'm going to burn through that in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, or if you're trying to get an out of state draw, you could pay $600 and not even ever get to go on that hunt. Where at least I paid that $600, and I at least was able to fish a couple days with it.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Hunting's getting expensive, though. It's actually one of the things I'm kind of worried about, the future of just in general for guys that are, scratching a couple pennies together to go on a hunting trip. Or, I remember the days just like an antelope. I've shot a few antelope over the years, and you used to go on a really good antelope hunt for under $2,000, $1,500, $2,000. And now you want to go kill a decent antelope. I mean, it's going to be $3,000 or $4,000. And it's just crazy. And I get it. I mean, the outfitters is supply and demand and people will pay for it, but I don't know, long-term effects of that. And I mean, elk are now used to be 5,000 to 7,000. They're probably, I mean, most of the ones I see now, if you're going to kill a big bull, it's going to be 10 grand or more, probably up to 20, 25. Mule deer the same way. I mean,
that's just to go out on the hunt.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you go with an outfitter, that's what it's going to
Wow.
cost to go out there.
And then it's going to be additional money on top of it to get it processed and any tracks.
Tags, I mean, taxidermy, whatever. I mean, all that kind of stuff, man. It's getting steep out of there.
So, are you at the point where Backwoods Life is your main job, or do you have another career that you do like Monday through Friday, or did you used to have a primary job and you got to the point where you were able to leave that and just invest all of your time into Backwoods Life?
Yeah, I worked at Valdosta State University, which is our local college here, just south of where I live. I worked there for 11 years, right out of college, and then started in the hunting industry stuff and doing videos and everything. And then I met some people here and there, and then I started doing some marketing stuff inside the industry. So I left Valdosta State, went out kind of not on my own, but with some marketing agency group, and worked there for a couple of years, and then started doing some more marketing stuff over here for Lethal Products, which I still do. I kind of run that line for them, but they also, part of my deal was they wanted me to continue to do Backwoods Life because of the relationships it builds and just all the contacts I have there. And it's just been a cool little scenario for me to be able to do Backwoods Life, do some marketing stuff inside the industry for other companies. And I do pretty good on this social media stuff. So I learned the ins and outs of that for a year. So I consult on the side for, I don't know, I've got 5 or 6 different people that I consult with on the social media side. So I got a lot going on most days, but it keeps me busy, but it's also fun. And it's in the realm of what I really like to do and help people out.
Yep.
Mine's kind of like a question for you, Michael, and one for Jordan there. Michael, what's it like trying to manage all that social media content, trying to make sure you stay up on it? And Jordan, what's it like kind of like being a part of it and managing your own hunting and your own personal time outside of being a part of this?
Yeah, from the social media management, it is a full-time job, to be honest with you, because you're trying to put out your best content. You're trying to keep consistent messaging out there. You're trying to just, build your brand, and everybody I work with is kind of the same thing. You're trying to stay true to yourself, but you also got to get the numbers that you need to be sustainable in this industry, because a lot of the advertisers that we work with and companies, they want that social media presence and they want you to get as much reach as you can. So nowadays, we've been on television this is our 20th year, but TV's changing. TV, the dynamic is changing. People watch things differently. Yeah, you can hop on. Jordan and I were sitting out in my office today, and just have TV on. Like Pursuit Channel's got a constant streaming platform. Waypoint's a streaming platform. Hunt Channel streaming platform. Then you got Outdoor Channel. Sportsman Channel's got My Outdoor TV, and it's all digital. It's not just, hey, we're sitting here at 5 o'clock watching this, 8 o'clock watching this, 10 o'clock watching this. So you're utilizing social media to direct everything to all the content that you have and all these pieces of the puzzle. So it's a mess is what it is. And I think I made a comment last night. I was like, I don't know how to I need some help with this chaos in my brain every day, because that's what's going through. And Jordan's been running with me for a minute, and he helps me with a lot of content. And he's a great editor, and turns out a lot of the stuff that you see on our social media side, from hunt success photos, and then the reels and stuff that we post, and even some of our YouTube content. So yeah, it's an unreal mountain of madness to stay on top of, and and he just tries to do his on his personal side, so that's whole nother level.
Yeah, it's the personal stuff is kind of just to let more so my buddies back home see what I'm up to, I guess. So travel with Michael or with the Given Right, and then I have a huge passion for waterfowl hunting as well. So I got a really good friend of mine who's got an outfitter in Canada, And we've got a little YouTube channel that I help out with there too to get more clients. And it's usually I'm busy 7 days a week, either doing stuff for work or trying to get caught up on personal stuff. But yeah, it's a grind, but I love doing it. I like making things look cool. And if it gets a view, great. If you don't like it, you still watch. So that's kind of how I'm
and on top of that, now I'm getting into this waterfowl stuff. I used to duck hunt a long time ago, and I kind of got away from it to chase deer all the way through to January. And now it's like, all right, I went on a couple duck hunts, and
you got bit by the bug.
We're gonna do that some more.
Yeah.
So thanks, Jordan.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, Dan and I have never been actually waterfowl hunting. I see it's like kind of like a more growing hunting. I want to say hunting sport, but more people are getting into it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just don't. Trust me.
I think kind of to piggyback off the social media side of it, that alone is, especially like my generation, TikTok, Instagram, it got big really fast. And the cool thing was to go out with your buddies on the weekend, try to shoot some ducks. And then, the whole Sika thing and this, that, and the other, it just kept driving that, I guess, side of the industry to where everybody that might have a pond or their grandma's got a river spot somewhere, they want to go try to do it and make a video maybe or be an influencer or whatever.
I think a lot of thing with the waterfowl is just like it's the camaraderie of it. Like you get to hang out with your buddies, and I mean, I went on a hunt in Tennessee, and I mean, it was a I knew this going in. They told me like, hey, this is going to be a bougie hunt. So like we pull the boat into the blind, get out, walk into the front. They got Blackstone griddles in there. I mean, they're cooking cinnamon rolls and stuff in the duck blind. I'm like, okay, I could do this. Like, who wouldn't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you're hanging out with 10 guys shooting ducks, and then we killed like 100. So I mean, it was even better. So yeah, I can see how it's an addicting thing. And we even said on that hunt, like, man, we didn't even have to kill that many ducks. It was just hanging out, bull crapping with your friends, cracking jokes, and having a good time. And that's really what we need to make the outdoors more of, to be less serious about everybody's got to kill a 200-inch whitetail. You got to kill a grand slam in an hour and a half of turkeys. And I mean, let's get back to having fun.
I listened to your 15-minute podcast about Hunt Your Hunt before we came on today. And I liked your point of just hunt. I liked that episode. And I think, I don't know when eventually it got started, but I think because of this huge outdoor narrative, like if you don't shoot a 200-inch deer, you're not hunting correctly. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I think that just got blown up so fast. And now it's just, I think you can't beat that now. There's no way that you could beat a dead horse. So just go out there and hunt and shoot what you want. And personally, though, I'm motivated in my own personal success, and I find that in two ways. One, killing a giant buck, and two is, did I get meat in the freezer? And for instance, a quick silo story. My wife was getting pissed at me last year. I saw like 5 small 8-point bucks, and I told her, like, no, I kind of just want to see what they can develop into. They could be something pretty sweet. They were only maybe 2-year-old, and I at least try to shoot for 3.5 to 4 age deer. This deer, all of a sudden, she kept yelling at me, like, I just want meat in the freezer. Come on. I'm like, sorry, I'm just not there yet. And all of a sudden, it's like getting close to the gun season here in November. This deer just comes out of nowhere and just books it right at me. He maybe scored 1 inch bigger than these other ones. And at the time, I didn't age him. He's just moving quick. And I was just like, my heart was just beating out of my chest like it was my first deer I've ever seen. And next thing I know, bam, I'm shooting him. He went 50 yards and died. He wasn't even close to maybe 100 inches. But you know what? That got my heart rate going, and I was proud of that deer.
And that's all that matters.
Exactly. I got to share it with my wife, my daughter, and it was my first deer with my son being born. So it was an emotional time for me. And yeah, I think more people need to actually, if it gets your heart rate going, at the end of the day, that's what fucking matters.
Right.
It's all
Everyone
about you.
Gets my heart going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, like Jordan and we've hunted a lot together in the last couple of years, and I don't know, I forgot what our body count is. It's whatever.
It's up there.
But with that being said, I mean, we went to Texas the first time we ever actually shot anything together. Shot a whitetail together.
Mm-hmm.
I shot a 6-point, and this was an old deer. I mean, the ranch people said this deer's like 6 or 7 years old. That deer scored probably 100 inches, if that.
Yeah.
But he was a 6-point. Most people wouldn't have shot that deer. We're on a pay hunt, but I'm like, you know what? That's a mature buck. And he was probably the spookiest deer I've ever been able to get a shot at in my life. He came in 4 times before we could get a shot at him.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter about the size. I've always said this a long time. It's the size of the trophy. It's the size of the hunt, not the size of the trophy. So it's all about what you make it, So that hunt was bigger than the trophy for us. Yeah. And then we've killed some big stuff since then, but at the same time, it's about having fun, man. And just like you said, if you get that adrenaline rush and, man, your heart is in your throat, and yeah, we all have ground strength. Trust me, I've shot plenty of deer that I walk over there and go, well, that ain't my deer. That's somebody else's deer with my arrow sticking in it or whatever. But that's part of it.
No, pretty much every deer gets my heart going. I'm still so new to it that if I see deer, I'm having a freaking blast.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy it. But yeah, anytime I'm hunting with my friends, those ones just seem to be a little bit sweeter for me. Or sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we were turkey hunting. I think it was Saturday evening. We're sitting there. We're down in Florida. And we got to talking about hunting, and with my buddy Jeremy Nogle that we hunt with down there, a good friend of ours. And we were just talking about hunting in general, and like, I don't even like to hunt by myself anymore. I'm not saying I won't go. Like, I got a little bit of land here by my house, and I'll go sit in a stand here just to kind of decompress and chill out sometimes by myself or whatever, but not very often. I've just done it for so long with somebody there. It's almost like if nobody's there to see it with me, did it really happen?
Yeah.
And I forgot. I think that the turkey we killed 2 turkeys together. We killed one Saturday and one Sunday down in Florida. And I think the one I shot Sunday was my 75th gobbler on video.
Oh,
so
wow.
I shot most all the turkeys I've ever killed have been on video. I didn't start turkey hunting until I was like 21. But with that being said, I've had somebody there along the way on most all of my hunts through my whole life, whether it was my dad or buddies in my hunting club, my grandfathers, and then we started videoing at such a young age for us. I've had camera guys or buddies hunting with me, filming, whatever. Since then, it just kind of feels weird. It's like you need somebody to share that moment with, or it didn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to have my dad teach me at a young age of getting into hunting, and as soon as I shot at my first deer, and it was a doe. Shot right underneath it. I was crying my eyes out. I was 12 years old. The next thing I know, I look down. My dad's grabbed my arrow, and he's walking up my stand, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I missed that deer. I practiced so much." And I have high personal standards for myself because I'm just competitive myself. And he's like, "Well, welcome to bow hunting." And that's all my dad and I do is bow hunt. And he goes, "That's bow hunting and deer hunting, so you're going to have to get used to it, so suck it up." And now a week later, he's like, "You're going to have another opportunity. Just learn from it and move on." And I got my next deer, and then that moment, it was just awesome to share it. And I love being able to share those moments with my family. And that's what I'm trying to instill in my own kids. I know Dan, he's looking forward to it. I know the deer he got last year, or was it last year or the year before? He was able to he did everything to finding the spot where he wanted to hunt, hang his stand, kill a deer, and track it and gut it all at once. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin the story for you, Dan, but he did all that.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, Dan was good.
No, it was this past season.
Amazing to see, and kind of, I wasn't a part of it, but a part of the story of what happened with it.
Yeah, it was this past season. The first year I hunted, I was hunting a lot with my hunting mentors. So I shot 2 deer my first year, a doe and a buck. And my buddy kind of walked me through everything. But this past year, the buck that I shot at my parents' property, all my buddies were tied up, so I did everything by myself for the
He
first
never
time.
called me, so I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm a good.
phone call
right?
yet.
It's just because I'm a good friend, and like I knew it would be a late night, and also I knew that I needed to man up and do it myself. And it was a little. He wasn't very big, so I could handle the drag, and I put a good shot on him, so he didn't go far. But that was the first time that I did everything from start to finish. That was my first tree stand that I had ever hung by myself. And I was able to have my two youngest boys and my wife come out, and yeah, they were hugging all on the deer. It was cool. So because of all the sentimental stuff, but that one, that's probably my favorite hunt that I've ever had.
Yeah. That's what it's
But-
about. It's about sharing that, and I'll tell you a quick story of my dad. After I killed my first deer, he gutted it for me and cleaned it, and he handed me the knife and he said, "Okay, you're on your own after this." I was 11.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was kind of the same way too. Just it's really rewarding when if you have a piece of property your family's got or whatever, and you put in the time, you do your practice with archery, whatever, and then it all boils down. Even if you shoot a doe, I mean, shooting does with my bow, that's one of the funnest things to ever do.
Yeah.
And
I got it back into doe shooting this year pretty good.
yeah.
How many?
I killed 7, but we have urban archery.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
yeah, I killed 6, I think.
yeah. But it like you said, just the reward at the end of the day when when your family's there, your dad comes or whoever's there, it's just you can't bottle that and sell it. That's why we do it,
And you're only going to be able to do that for so long.
Yeah.
That's the bad part about it. I mean, I've lost both of my grandfathers now, and I had hunting and fishing memories with them. I mean, I literally my first grandfather that passed away, he passed away at 87, but he and I were quail hunting together the January before he passed away in September. So I've always got that. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, that's just having, so I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have, parents or grandparents that hunt or whatever, but hey, they got a buddy, but that still either way, it's just finding somebody to gravitate with. And heck, we're probably Saturday morning here in Georgia, youth season starts for turkey. And we got a buddy of ours here. He's got a kid that's, I don't know, he's 11 or 12 or something like that. And we're going to take him we're all going to pile up in a ground blind. We're going to go sit by a tree and try to get this kid a turkey, so just he can have it.
Oh yeah, seeing kids do it for the first time is fun. That's kind of how I got with fishing. I kind of felt like I got accomplished for fishing in Michigan. I can catch big bass for the state here, like pretty easy. I catch nice bass every year here, and once I got to that like level, I kind of got to the point where I wanted to take people like Brett over here, to take them out fishing. People who are like don't really go out, and I like putting people on fish. Like people say, oh, I never caught a bass. I'd be like, hey, I'm taking you fishing, and I guarantee you, I'm going to catch you. Like you're going to catch your first bass. Or
what's a big bass for up there?
In Michigan, if you catch a 5-pounder, that's a good bass.
Okay.
Yeah, anything over 5.
Small? Is that smallmouth or large?
Yeah, we have smallmouth here. If you catch a 5-pound smallie here, that's a good smallmouth too. But largemouth for sure. If you catch a 5-pounder, that's a good one.
I have no idea. I've never fished very before.
But like I know, like if you go down your neck of the woods, a 5-pounder is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you don't really get too excited until you get close to 10.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. The bass get big down there.
Yeah. My dad, he caught his biggest last year he ever caught, and it was a little over 11. I think the biggest I've ever caught is 9 something. So
yeah. Oh, dude, they get big. And I also went out to Lake Fork to fish that.
Yeah.
That was different, man. That was a different type of fishing. I had never really seen when people are targeting them on beds.
Yeah.
So
we do that down here a lot.
So that was a little bit of a learning curve to me. Like when I went down there and you would just see people like they'd be locked in on a fish, and the way that they would be fishing them, like at first it almost seemed a little unethical to me, like just because it was way different than anything I've seen. But then once we got there and we did like a half day with the guide, just to kind of learn some of the stuff from the locals, and then the rest of the time we were out doing it by ourselves. But yeah, it was different. It's kind of like sight fishing, really. You just kind of go around and cruise, and when you see one, you just kind of piss them off. But I mean,
we fished tournaments down here before. Like my dad, like I said, when I grew up bass fishing, he fished tournaments. Like he fished tournaments in all over the Southeast United States, and he actually went and fished tournaments in Hawaii, Arizona, up in you guys' way, up Buffalo, up that way.
Okay.
So anyway, he's fished all these tournament circuits, and that's how, especially this time of the year, that's how we caught a lot of fish. You get there and you'll go cruise the banks, look for biggest bass on the bed you can find, hope nobody else goes and finds them, and then you go camp out on the next day. And I mean, you might sit there for an hour, but you might catch an 8-pounder. So it's that's kind of way at risk, high risk, high reward if it works out. But it's fun.
Everybody else was down there when we were down there, and there was a huge amateur tournament that had like over 1,000 contestants in it. And like you could walk from you could just walk from your deck to the next guy's deck to the next guy. Like everybody was on top of each other. And then the day before that tournament was a crappie tournament, a huge crappie tournament. So
I'm good.
Quite a bit of adversity, but just being able to fish somewhere so far away from Michigan, it was an experience that I'll never forget. And I will be back there. Like I do want to go back and hit that again. It was really cool.
Brett, you're like, all right, enough fishing talk, man. Let's get back to some hunting stuff.
I'm just mostly sad because I didn't even get to hit the segment button for if we're going to talk about fishing.
Let's go fishing.
Speaking of fishing,
somehow brings up fishing. We get on a fishing topic. I can't catch it fast enough to hit that button because I like hitting that button.
No, I on my way to work not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, at like 6 a.m, I got passed on the highway by KVD in his boat, and then whoever has the favorite fishing boat, it was two of them. I'm pretty sure that they were heading to Toledo, because I saw the footage like a couple days later, and I was like, that's where they were going, because I know for sure it was KVD. He's from around our part of Michigan.
Yeah, we hunted with his brother, mule deer hunted with his brother last
2 years ago.
Yeah, not this past fall, but the fall before. Yeah.
Okay.
Out in North Texas.
Yeah, I just put a down payment down on a bow at his shop.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. And then they have a big show coming up, I think this weekend, at that shop.
What part of Michigan are you guys in?
Southwest Michigan, Kalamazoo.
Okay, well we just went hunting up there in December. I got a good buddy that owns Modern Buggy, the RVs up there. They're like a little small I don't know what
like a utility camper.
Yeah, like a little weekend or hunting camp, little portable thing. I mean, he designed them where you can like pull them up mountains and stuff to go elk hunting and whatever. But he's in Edwardsburg.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
We're having a moment now.
Something happened.
No, you can't breathe.
He probably knows the guy or something.
No, so my favorite color is blue. I have one of our hunting buddies I hunt on the property with. Braxton, he's from Edwardsburg, and Edwardsburg is like 30 minutes down the road from us.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's
we
kinda
were
cool,
right
like,
there.
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like you guys are like right down the road from us, and I'm not
What'd
a
you
big fan
think?
of
What'd you think
Edwardsburg.
of Michigan while you guys were here?
What's that?
Or you guys didn't hunt here, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What'd you think?
Oh, it was fun. I've been up there. My buddy Earl Williams, he owns a Modern Buggy, and he's got a bunch of farms right there in that area. And so we've hunted with him before. I actually shot 2 deer up there with him. So it's a good time. He's got some great land. It's a lot of fun. A nice little camp we stay in, and which I was sick half the time we were there. I don't know what I had back then. It was pretty rough, but I toughed it out. Actually, the day I felt the worst, I killed a big deer. So
Oh,
Oh,
it makes it worth it then.
Mhm.
yeah, we were up
Well,
there
that-
for that late season.
What time did you come up here?
Was that like the first weekend in December?
I think so.
Was that
yeah.
the late gun season?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we were right there for the end of that.
yeah, it's generally a good time, especially
Yeah,
up here.
they were actually like the second rut was kicking in. We
Mhm.
had one he's busted up, but one buck came in there, man. He was pushing does hard. We
Mhm.
saw a pile of deer though. It was cold, which was good, and like I said, we had a good time, man. That's a cool area. I mean, it's weird because you don't really think of Michigan to look like the Midwest, and it did right there in that area. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's weird how Michigan's you get like a whole bunch of different, in my opinion, states mixed into one. Like you go out west, kind of more towards Jacksonville area. It's just open flatlands, basically, of cornfields. You start going up north, and it's just pine trees, and you're just pine trees for days.
And it's sandy too. Like there's some area where it gets kind of beachy here. Like once you get over by the big lake.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michigan's awesome. As soon as you start getting a little bit north, like central Michigan and up above, if you guys never been to the UP, it's awesome up there. The hunting's not very good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably not gonna go there.
But if you just want to go for some good nature porn, like
Yeah.
you gotta go. You gotta go to the UP.
Gotcha.
Like
What-
the Mighty
what-
Mac.
Yeah, we'll probably be back up there this coming fall, though.
Yeah, my buddy's constantly sending me giant pictures of deer there in Edwardsburg. And I'm just looking, I'm like, and you want to come up here where we hunt and in our little Lawton area? He goes, yeah. I'm like, you're insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah. Earl
18
actually killed
The more the
we
merrier.
killed a buck on his place. Was it November? It was like in the 180s.
Yeah.
And did you guys film your Michigan hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to go back and watch those then.
Yeah, it's I don't even know.
I don't know if they've gone live yet.
I don't think anybody's seen it yet. We did a reel. There's a reel of it
Uh-huh.
on Instagram and YouTube, I think. But yeah.
What's it like hunting in Georgia if someone was to come out of state? So if we were to come down there,
Depends on where you're at in the state. Like, so I've got some lease property, which is it's northeast of me. And then my family's farm is due north. So that's kind of where I split my time when I'm at home. But our lease property, if you come over there and you kill 130, 140 inch deer, maybe a little bit bigger, that's a really good deer. But over on my family property, 150, 160 inch deer is a big deer there and bigger. I mean, we've never killed a 170, but we've killed a bunch of, from 140s to 160s. They're, some really nice deer. So, and body wise, I mean, they're on the family farm side, a 5-year-old buck, he's going to weigh between 225 and 250. And then our lease property is going to be a 4-year-old is probably going to be around 200. So,
dang. And Jordan, since you're from Virginia, what's it like hunting Virginia and Georgia? What's the comparison like?
Virginia's, I mean, kind of like his family farm. If you're shooting like a 145 to 165, that's a respectable deer. Like we've had, I know this year there's a Facebook page that everybody can go on and post their pictures. There's, I think 5 or 6 200-inch deer killed in Virginia this year.
Damn.
Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss in some areas. We got mountains and we got a lot of crop valleys. So, if you got 100 acres of corn, you're probably going to hold a lot of deer, and you can grow some deer. But once you get like on the West Virginia line, it's kind of coal country mountains to where your mountain deer, you might shoot a 5-6-year-old, but he's 140 or something like that. But as far as compared to Georgia, there's similarities, but there's a lot of differences, mostly because here in this area, there's not hardly any rolling hills or anything. It's pretty flat. So for me, like I'm hunting huge ridge tops on mountains, and, we'll get into our crop fields and hunt those too. But that's probably, the terrain is about the only difference. And I feel like just about anywhere that's got a lot of whitetail, you can find your giants that have just snuck through or lived in someone's backyard for their whole life. But yeah, it's very similar, but it's kind of different at the same time.
Has hunting Virginia kind of helped with your hunting there in Georgia? Like,
yeah,
like learning how to hunt in the mountains and going down more to the flat level, I was assuming that'd be a lot easier in a sense.
Yeah, and these guys too, they do their homework as well. So being able to be successful here is just managing your property year round and putting the time and the money into it, and it pays off in the end. I know that Kevin killed was it 145 this year?
Yeah, it was a little over 140.
And they've had them on camera for 3 years, had sheds off of them, and just kept building them up, giving them protein in the off season, and it turned out to go. He shot a really nice deer. And then on the flip side of that, I mean, I feel like anybody, if you put the time and effort into it, just about anywhere, you can grow deer. Now your genetics might not be all that great. But I mean, when y'all started that place too, y'all's genetics was crap.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just getting that age and nutrition and you basically can just do the best you can with what you got.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take Jordan to the gym with me every day, and we can try to make him a bodybuilder, but it might be rough because of them genetics. But
yeah,
that's just the way it is with deer. You can pump him full of whatever you want to, but he ain't going to do what he can do.
Yeah.
So,
what's it like managing your own food plot? How much acres do you have to manage?
Between the family farm and the lease property, it's probably about 2,000 acres.
What's it like managing that 2,000 acres? Like,
what's it like managing it,
and what are you doing? What are you doing that's helping you from where you started to what you're doing now?
Food, 100% food. That's really what it boils down to. I mean, on the lease property that we have, it's mostly all pine plantations, because over there the soil is not that great. It's real sandy as well. I mean, literally some of it looks like beach sand. It's solid white beach sand to be in Georgia, along these little river drains and creek bottoms. And so we've had to go in there and just do a ton of work to get food plots established. We're lucky to have a big power line that goes through there, so we can have a 4 or 5 acre food plot in one spot. And then we've cleared out some spots, an acre here, an acre there. But I mean, really in the totality of that thing, if that, say we got 1,500 acres over there, we probably only have 15 acres of food plots, which isn't enough, but that's all we can do. Because that's the way the land lays out. These guys are in the business to grow pine trees. They don't care about food plots. They want that tree money. Now on my family farm, we're lucky enough, it is an actual farm. We've got hay fields, we've got sesame fields, we've had, peanuts over the years, corn, watermelons, soybeans, just all kind of different crops on it. And of course, the more crops you have, the more deer you're going to have. And, that's in cotton. We're planting a lot of cotton here, but that's all good fertilized crops that deer eat. They're going to eat something around it. Even if the browse around those fields gets fertilized, it's going to be better for your deer. So that's the biggest thing, is just having a good all around food sources. And yes, we can hunt over feeders down here, and we can feed year round. So, we pour the protein to them. We have corn feeders that run all hunting season just to keep them coming. It's just a whole management plan, because a lot of people, not to get on the baiting tangent, but a lot of people are against baiting and stuff. And I can see where they go against that because of, the perception it gives. But like, we use that as a management tool. We're not shooting every deer that comes to that feeder, and we're basically, when you've got feeders, like especially corn spinner feeders type, most of the things that comes there is does and small bucks most of the time. Well, when they come in, you're going to get a chance at that big buck, every once in a while during the rut, when he's making a mistake and slipping in there. But our bigger bucks, they hardly ever eat under a spin style feeder. They're always eating out of trough and gravity feeders. So we learn a lot by watching them, and we have cameras out everywhere, and it's just a very extensive process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine hard to find the time to fit it in with your busy schedule that you already have.
Yeah.
That's another job on top of itself, is
Yeah,
managing your farm.
Yep. Luckily, I got some help, around to do stuff with buddies, and Kevin that does the show with me, and my dad. He does a lot on our farm still, as much as he can anyway. So, but yeah, I could sit here and make a list all the way from here to you guys to what needs to be done on it, but will it ever get done? I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like a never-ending type thing.
Yeah.
It's just like owning a house. Like, there's always something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jordan, what's it like, kind of the time frame of kind of like taking one episode and trying to process each video and trying to get those out on a consistent basis?
As far as like social media posts or reels or anything like that, we try to do it, real time. So like, I know me and him killed on Saturday, and I think I had a reel done that Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously too, like after a while you'll have stuff scheduled out. So yeah, it might not be exactly real time, but like he posted the one I think it was tonight.
Yeah.
Of the first bird. So the social media and YouTube is kind of the real time, if you will. Once, we can sit down and get it all edited. The TV show is all Q3 each year. So there's 4 quarters. I'm sure y'all know what that is. And then the TV shows run in a year prior. So like this season that we're filming now won't air until the fall of 2025. Mm-hmm. So that's how it's like a year set back for TV shows. Now YouTube, it's basically whenever you get it done, you can go and post it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
and that's what we try to do. On our stuff, we try to roll out as much current content as we can, but we get so busy, like especially in turkey season. And then, if we have a really good year and we shoot, I don't know, 15 or 20 birds, we've got all these different hunts. And by the time we get them all sorted out and we're rolling out some of them, it's already the end of turkey season, and we don't really want to burn that content. There's not a lot of people that's going to want to watch a turkey hunt in July.
Right.
So we throttle that back, kind of put that over here in the stockpile. We switch up back over to some deer content from the previous year. It's like by the time you see our television show, part of what we do, we've already milked every ounce of content for social media, YouTube, reels, and TV out of that, and to the point where it's like, all right, we've bled this horse dry. We just go ahead and put it up and get ready for the next batch to come in, And that's the beauty of what we do. There's no right, wrong, or answer, to how we roll this stuff out. It's our stuff. We can do what we want to with it. So, but I think, another thing from a television standpoint, heck, Jordan's been we turkey hunted for a couple of days, and we've been working here in the office for a couple of days. But you knocked out a TV show in what, like 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah.
So
if you sit down and you kind of get the idea of what the show looks like and kind of build your template early on, you can start to piece together episodes very quickly. And like Pursuit channel is a little bit different than Sportsman's channel as far as layouts go for how the TV show is supposed to be. But yeah, as an editor, you kind of get in a rhythm and you start grinding stuff out. Like I know between me and the 4 other guys that I work with my company, we do 9 or 10 other TV shows that we edit for the year. And then we have to get them all done before that Q3 period, which I think is like the end of July, maybe. Is that
beginning of July? You can roll them out later now. But the first ones have to be in by June, I think.
Yeah. So it's springtime for an editor is a little bit of a grind, especially if you like to turkey hunt. So you're trying to balance getting TV shows done that, pay good money, and then also film turkey hunts for with you. Like I'm on a 3-week trip right now, which I'm not complaining, but the TV shows, if you get behind, or it could explode on you a little bit, but that's part of the game. And I think everybody, at least for me, I know what I signed up for. Yeah, it might be late hours sometimes, but I can't say that other 24-year-olds in this world are doing what I can do right now and be able to travel and see God's creation and portray that on TV as well. So
No, now it's more just sitting inside watching gaming videos, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get off my couch and eat Doritos.
Yeah.
And then with you guys talking a lot about doing the reels, how big of an impact do you think that has on just the popularity and everything? Like, it sounds like you guys put a lot of like focus on doing the reels. Have you guys noticed a huge impact on your growth since you started doing the reels and kind of keeping people those teasers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll put hunts on there, and I posted one, I think it was March or April of last year on our Backwoods Life page. It was a bow hunt from Wisconsin. Big deer walks out. I draw my bow back. I shoot him. He runs off, and you kind of feel like you hold your breath when you shoot the deer, and then the camera pans back around to me. I just did that. That was all the clip was. In 3 days or so, it got 21 million views.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you got stuff like that just pops off. And we've had all kind of videos get millions of views, and it just grows. And I mean, I've had people come up to me at hunting stores and go, "Hey man, you're that guy on TV," and talk to me. And then I have guys come up to me like, "Hey man, I follow you on Instagram. I see all your stuff," or "Hey, you're my YouTube guy." And that's the cool part of what we do. I mean, people recognize you. It's a humbling experience, and I'm very thankful for that. But at the same time, people are out there watching what you do, and they're enjoying it too. So all this work that we're doing that we think is like, hey, it's cool for us to be there and be a part of it. But now other people are enjoying what you're doing, and you're creating a brand awareness, if you will. That's the whole point. I mean, it's a business too. I mean, we got to make a few dollars to keep the lights on. Mm-hmm. So that's all part of it.
With you guys having such a big base, what would you say to the people starting off if that's their goal to try and get up to the same level as you guys are? What would you give them? Any advice? What would you give them?
I could say something really smart and sarcastic right now, but I'm not going to do that.
I mean, say whatever you'd like.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. We don't care.
So I'll put it this way. If you told me that you wanted to go do what we do and start a television show and go out and travel and film and spend tons of money, I would say, just give me $100. I'm going to kick you in the balls and you'll be better off. That's exactly what I say. But I'll throttle that back and say, though, in the truthfulness of the way things are consumed now, like with social media, like we're talking about, YouTube, like there's a very, very low barrier to entry. So if you can, teach yourself how to video a little bit, how to edit a little bit, enough to, hey man, make something that you're going to be proud of, and don't care at all if people make fun of you or they don't like what you're doing. You go do your thing. You figure out your path. Don't try to be the next Michael Whitetail. Don't try to be the next Lee and Tiffany. Be you. Figure out your angle. What makes you different? Go out there and hustle. And if you really want it bad enough, somebody's going to see your stuff somewhere. They're going to hit that follow button. They're going to subscribe. And all it takes is one or two really good videos to get your, I won't say make you famous. I call it Insta famous all the time. I guess now it's called TikTok famous because that's about what that is. But, just little videos that can pop off. You never know. And then the next thing you know, you've done, you said something like, I don't know if y'all follow David Ellis, Yalt. He's a friend of mine. He's a nuisance trapper in Mississippi. And he's a great guy. Funny dude, but he kind of started that way. He just got really excited after shooting a turkey, and he just started talking all this crazy stuff. And he's like, "Man, I'm like, yeah, like that." And then he got the name Yalt. And dude, he blew up. Like, yes, but now he hustles and he works. He makes his YouTube videos, Facebook videos, and he's got a big audience now. I mean, I'm proud for the guy because he's a nice guy and on. But he hustled. He got in there and he found his path, just like we did. I mean, years ago, we found our path. So, I mean, it's out there, man. I mean, these things right here in the palm of your hand can do such amazing stuff. This is a way better tool than when we started. This is a better video camera, 1,000 times better than our first video cameras we had when we started filming. So,
oh yeah.
What were you gonna say, Jordan?
I was just piggyback off of that, and for me and a generation more so, or my generation, is just not getting discouraged. If you really want to do it, yeah, you're going to get a lot of no's. You might not get hardly any work when you're starting out, or any money to go towards it. But if it's something you want to do, keep grinding, and in the end, it should pay off if you put in the work. And there will be haters that tell you can't do something.
There's going to be a bunch of haters.
And that's why I know I said it earlier, they might leave comments on whatever it is, but in the end, they still watched. So
I love the haters, man. Bring them on. I want the more hate comments I get, the better that video is going to do.
It makes me feel happy inside.
Yeah.
And then Jordan, I had a little bit of a question for your schooling that you did in videography.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that really applied to what you're doing now? Like, do you really feel like it helped you to where you hit the ground running, or like when you knew that like you wanted to use the videography towards the outdoor industry, do you feel like you had to just figure it all out on your own?
So I went in I'll kind of go back on that. I went in as a bio major at Eastern Mennonite University. That's where I went to go play baseball and thought that's what I wanted to do, be a game warden, whatever. And then, I met Curtis and kind of changed paths. So I went to be a photography major and then minored in marketing. And I'll say the photo side of it, as far as editing goes, I use that kind of skill set, every day. The video stuff was more so self-taught and experiences, I guess. So, for turkey hunting, I'd say turkey hunting used to be one of the hardest things for me to film, because you have to try to get it on film. Turkey's eyes are insane to begin with. And if say you're sitting on the ground somewhere, your hide and everything has to be perfect for it to work. And there's a lot of trial and error that went into that, and a lot of cussing, but
we're still figuring it out.
We're still figuring it out too. So, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying I'm some, Steven Spielberg when it comes to filming, but if you put in the time and effort and start learning from other people, watch YouTube videos and just do real world experience with it, you'll get pretty good at it. And that's kind of how I went about it. I had Curtis and my boss Tyler that, they've been in the industry doing it for 10 years and kind of just used them as a mentor and kept going with it. And I'll do it every day. So yeah, it's the schooling thing. I think it kind of depends. If I took more video style classes, yeah, maybe, as far as, camera settings or something like that. But as far as the hunting industry goes, there's only so much you can kind of do, especially how the world works today,
But I'll piggyback on that and say, though, if you've got a good eye for photography, or you learn a good eye, you're going to have a good eye for videography as well. And my sister's a photographer, so and that's not that I've videoed for years. That's what we used to video, all of our own stuff for each other for forever, until the last probably 6 or 8 years, and then we kind of got where we could afford to have guys like Jordan, follow us around and do some stuff, which is awesome, and it's just changed the element of what we do. But yeah, I've been around enough bad camera guys to know when I find a good one. So not knocking anybody Jordan works with, because they're all awesome. I'm talking about pre-expedition days,
Yeah.
Now, because you guys are getting, I guess, basically paid to go out there and hunt and shoot these deer.
I wish it was that easy.
I know.
Yeah. My main question is, if, say, there's a 200-inch deer walking around, and are you not going to shoot it because you can't get him on camera? I ask that question a lot to people.
If I'm hunting on my dime, I bought the hunt. I don't have a deal with, like, I'm promoting an outfitter or anything, or don't have an agreement where it's required to be on film on some level, I'm gassing him. I don't even care. It don't matter to me. We can look at him after the video and go, "Hey man, come follow me and look at this dead deer." Look, I know there's a lot of people out there probably don't like that answer that do what we do, but to me, that would be you would remember that way more than if I had shot that deer on video. You'd be like, "He's the guy that shot the one, he didn't get it on video." There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious because I saw this video that my friend sent me, and it was this guy. Apparently he's pretty big on TikTok. I can't remember what his name was, but I want to say it anyways. He had a 210-inch deer walking around his stand, and he didn't shoot it because he didn't get the camera angle correctly on him. And I said, "You are freaking insane, man. I don't know. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're paying me to go on there and hunt for deer. I'm shooting that deer. And like you said, we'll follow and track it, film it later. I'm shooting this deer. This is an awesome deer.
We will make chicken salad out of chicken crap. Don't worry about that. We were going to shoot that deer. I just got kicked out of like 5 outfitters.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, as a camera guy, yeah, that's my goal is to get it on camera. But ultimately, it's not my call at the end of the day. If I'm on him, he's got to have that trust in me. And if I'm not on it, I'm honestly just kind of the guy there. So
if we were sitting there right now and a 200-inch deer walked out, and I knew that 2 more steps or whatever, that deer is going to be gone, I may never get to see him again. And I say, Jordan, are you on him? And I'm like at full draw or got him in the scope or whatever. And he says, no, I'm going to make that decision. He's going to die, not Jordan, the deer.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be like, hey, man, you didn't get that, did you? And he's going to go, nope. I was like, well, guess what? We got a 200.
Yep.
So what's that feeling like working together as trying to build that teamwork and trust together? How does that kind of come naturally? Does it take time coming together of kind of trying to figure out what he thinks and you're thinking as well? What's that like up there in the actual stand?
I think honestly, for me and you, we kind of hit it off right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I came down to Georgia 2 falls ago and we did some work. We didn't even hunt. I think we did some fishing.
Yeah.
We filmed a little fishing video and me and Michael spanked Kevin and who was Drake?
Drake, yeah.
Drake was there helping.
Oh, dude, we was in this pond. I caught like 30 bass, and I think Kevin caught 3.
I don't know if he even caught one, but it was a lot of fun. Me and him just had a time and, got to know each other that way, not even hunting really.
Yeah. And
then we started going on more trips. I was getting booked out with him, and it just kind of all took off from there.
And I'm one of them too, man. I think I'm pretty easy guy to get along with. I'm very laid back, just go with it. I got a high tolerance for things to go wrong, and I just say, okay, well, we'll get through it. And usually in the beginning of a relationship, especially with somebody that's going to film, I'm like, okay, you show me what you're going to do. Like, I'm not going to say a word to you other than, hey, this is where we're going to be. This is what time we're going to be there. Hey, you got your gear, you do your thing. And then we fine tune that as we go. I may say, hey man, let's get a shot of this, or, let's put a GoPro over here, or, I'll direct a little bit, but once we go through that for a couple sits, I mean, we kind of got our flow. Like he did great to start with because literally
it was in Texas with that.
Yeah.
That 7 point.
With that buck. And we're sitting there and we're in a redneck blind, so we got a lot of room, but he's got his main camera on his tripod. He's got a GoPro pointing on us, and then he's got another DSLR camera mounted pointing at me. So this deer comes in. I mean, all the chaos of the deer hunt goes on, and we do our interviews before and after and during and all this mess, but we shoot this deer, and I'm like, okay, man, like what else do we need to do video wise? He's like, nothing. I was like, what do you mean? We just got to go recover this buck on video. And I'm like, we don't need to get the gun, do all this any reenactment. He's like, no, man, I got 3 angles. We're good. And then when you go back and watch that, you're like, all right, we got it. This team is on point right here. Like we're good to go. And we'll even say like both of us have a long baseball background. So we have that team mentality built into us, I think. And I really believe people with sports backgrounds just get it faster because we've always had to operate as one instead of individual plane. But when we hunted together and there's stuff going on that most people would have to say, all right, are you here? Are you there? You're there. We don't even. It's like, all right, you ready to shoot this thing? Yep. And that's all. I mean, it's just you learn as you go, but we kind of just hit a good groove and we've been knocking stuff down. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
cool.
Now, you said you get booked with him. Now, does your company, I don't want to say signed, but like, oh, you're going to go work with him this week or this month or something like. How does that work between your company you work with Jordan to working with Michael as well?
So it's I guess more Michael is a client of Expedition Enterprises, and it's something we offer to where he needs a camera guy, and we have like 5 or 6 of them now, and we get contracted out. He pays a X amount of dollars a month to have us there for, to shoot the hunts, do reels, do inside content for him. And I kind of just became the lead guy on that project where, I'm Mike Lee's guy. So yeah, we have other guys that come here. Like I'll miss a turkey hunt we're going to have in Texas, or he's going to have in Texas this year. So we'll have another guy from my company that comes and does it. And it's more of a team effort, but I'm with him, I guess, the most just because we drive together and I really enjoy being around him. And 90% of the time, something's going to die when we're together.
Well, and logistically, he's closer to me than the other guys too, so that kind of helps out too. But I mean, we've had 4 or 5 different guys with them that we've worked with. Everybody's been awesome though. I mean, they're really, all of them know how to video. They're all, good guys to be around, great personalities. Some of the best footage that we've probably pumped out in a long time has been out of their camera lenses. So I'm tickled to death about it all. I mean, Jordan's kind of my guy because we started together in this whole thing, and we've done very well together. But I'm not knocking anybody else in their camp. I mean, they're all very seasoned and trained guys. I mean, they run a good ship over there.
I will say all the guys are jealous right now because I've already filmed 2 turkeys get killed, and they're still in the office. So.
Yeah. Hopefully by this time next week it'll be 3.
Yeah.
How long does your turkey season run down there?
We started Florida this past Saturday, and we tagged out Sunday. So we had 2 birds in 2 days, and we're done in Florida. We're headed to Texas Sunday, and we'll hunt Texas Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come back here Thursday. Georgia starts that following Saturday. So then we'll hunt Georgia Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. In between doing normal work stuff and sitting at computers for hours and, doing what we do all the way around. So we're just road warriors and airplane guys right now. And then we're going to South Dakota in May. So that'll be the last run there.
What are you hunting out there in South Dakota?
Turkey.
Oh, turkey. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to do I've done the slam. I don't know. I think 6. I've done 6 Grand Slams. I'm trying to do one this year. Didn't in one season. I've done it before, but I'll do it again. A buddy of mine wants to try to get his, so I told him, "Come on, we'll go after him." And
easy excuse for you.
Yeah, I mean, just twisting my arm to go do it again. So we'll just do it. Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't have to convince too hard.
No, that's
Well, Dan, I don't want to take up much of your guys' time anymore. I'm very appreciative that you guys were able to come on the show and take some time to talk with us. Dan, was there any lasting questions that you might have for him?
Not really questions. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming on and taking your time. Really enjoyed chatting with you guys. We really like the southern states. It just seems like everybody down there is just really friendly, and it must just be that good weather you guys got down there.
We're not mad. It's cold.
Yeah. We're just salty dogs up here just because we always got this shit weather. But no, just really enjoyed being able to chat with you and trying to learn. That's my biggest focus on every time we have a guest is I like to learn from everybody. So again, thank you for your time, and have fun in Texas, and best of luck for your hunting season this year, and hope everything keeps growing for you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you guys for getting us on here. It's been a pleasure to get to know you two, and know that we're only a few miles apart when we're in Michigan. We'll have to meet up and have a cold beverage or something.
That's about one county over for me, but that's in his backyard.
Yeah. Gotcha. So
sure. Fun little tidbit though. We've talked to Florida guests, and majority of them said that, man, I'd much rather hunt in Georgia than Florida.
That's a fact. Yeah. We're thinking about building one of those Trump walls down there on South Georgia border. So, I'm just kidding. We love Florida. We go down to Florida and fish and turkey hunt. So we'll keep the train going. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys have any questions or stories that you want to share, concerns, anything like that, before we let you guys go for the night?
I don't think so, man. Like we just said, we just enjoyed hanging out with you guys and getting to know y'all and talking hunting. So yeah, that's our favorite part of the day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, we loved it. And again, thank you very much. Can't say it enough. Look forward to hearing from you guys when you're up here in Michigan. If you are, we'll help show you around. And I can't say thank you enough for coming on the show and taking the time to talk with us, Jordan and Michael. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Man.
We appreciate y'all.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Well, heck yeah, man. It's a small world, man. We say that all the time.
I know. It's not like I know it. It just comes out about.
I thought the way that you were giggling like a little kid there, I thought that you like knew the individual that they knew or something. I thought that I thought there was going to be a bigger aha moment. So
No, I just
kind of let me down there, bud.
I'm sorry. It was more just like starstruck of like, oh man, these guys are basically right here in our backyard. Or at least for me, more so than you. But yeah, it's like hip hop skeppity doo right down the road for me. And I don't know, that just kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh man,
Well, I mean, there's good deer over there. You've seen them. And
I have. Yeah.
They had nothing but good things to say about the hunt, and we overlooked that. I was looking at their I was watching their Wisconsin hunt earlier today. If I would have saw that Michigan one, I already know I would have watched that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to go back and watch that.
Oh, for sure.
It's cool to watch hunts and to be able to see stuff that like, hey, like this is the type of terrain that I hunt. So for me, it's easier for me to learn that way.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to get on Jordan's aspect of how he's had to learn from Virginia, kind of like mountains and hills, and going down to Georgia now flat. So it's kind of like cool to learn how he kind of had to adapt his hunting technique, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty cool job, man.
Yeah.
24, riding around with Mike all the time and filming hunts.
Well, that will conclude tonight's show. If you ever want to be a guest on the show, don't be afraid to send us a message on our social media platforms, or you can text 269-993-3653. We call this the Electronic Campfire. Everyone's here and welcome to come on the show. We say this is the people's show. It's your show. We started this, though, but we want people to come on here and share their stories and make it feel like this is their own place. With that being said, tomorrow's guest, we're going to leave it a little surprise. But that will... We go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Each week we are covering a new state. This week we're in Idaho, though, but we had to get those guys on the show from Georgia.
Just a little detour.
Yeah, just a minor one. We'll go back. We have some cool guests lined up for the rest of the week. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we start. Other than that, are you ready to end the show, Dan?
Yep. Thank you, anybody, for watching. And for anybody who doesn't subscribe, please hit the like and subscribe button. And allow us to continue to grow.
All right, let's head out for the night.
All right, man.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.